At the beginning of the story, we see a mischievous boy named Theo. He often got others to do his homework by tempting them with video games. He wouldn't enter the house from the front, but would climb the pipe and get into his room through the window. One day, Theo went to the roof while eating a banana and suddenly threw the peel down. At that moment, a portal opened and the banana peel vanished into the air. When Theo didn't hear the sound of the peel hitting the ground, he turned around to look. He was puzzled and went downstairs to check if the peel was there, but it was nowhere to be found. Now Theo threw his roller skate down, and the same thing happened again. It too vanished into the air. Theo was even more surprised. He threw a stone down and the stone disappeared as well. Now he went to tell his elder brother Oscar about this portal. They didn't have parents, so they lived with their grandma and mother. However, Oscar was very angry with him at the time because Theo had torn pages from their mother's books to make paper rockets. Theo tried to explain that he had found a time portal, but Oscar thought Theo was mocking him. In fact, their mother had suddenly disappeared. While Theo thought she had run away with someone, Oscar believed she was a capable scientist searching for time portals and was possibly stuck in another time. He wanted to understand her research and bring his mother back. Now the fight between the two brothers was escalating. Meanwhile, their grandmother called them to eat something. They stayed quiet in front of their grandmother, but as soon as she left, the argument started again. Oscar, in anger, hurled half an insult at Theo, after which Theo angrily threw Oscar's turtle into the portal. Oscar, restless, started searching for his beloved turtle everywhere, and when he couldn't find it, he put up missing posters everywhere. Oscar was very close to that turtle. Being apart from it, he just kept crying. Soon, Theo realized his mistake and decided to jump into the portal to fix everything. As soon as he jumped into the portal, Theo reached the place where everything he had thrown into the portal was lying. The turtle was also there. Theo took the turtle home and put it back in its place. After that, he quietly went to sleep. But the next morning, something very strange happened. Theo was still sleeping, but Oscar got ready for work. Now Oscar had aged considerably. Theo had actually come from 1990 to 2022 with the help of that portal. Here, Oscar is a physics professor. Soon, Oscar went to a man named David's shop to get some supplies. A little later, the shopkeeper's daughter Alina also arrived there. David and Alina have been good friends for quite some time. David liked Alina since childhood. He just never got to say it. Alina had gotten divorced and was now a mother of 2 children, but Oscar still had love for her in his heart. Alina is an English professor at Oscar's university. At home, Theo woke up and started looking for Oscar. He picked up the turtle and went to his grandmother. Grandmother had now aged considerably and couldn't recognize Theo. When Oscar saw Theo, he was startled and fainted. When Oscar regained consciousness, he asked, "Is it really you, Theo?" Theo was also confused. He asked Oscar, "Who are you? And how do you know my name?" Oscar said, "I'm your elder brother. Who else?" Now Theo was shocked and asked, "How did you get so much older in just one day?" After a brief conversation, they realized that Theo had somehow arrived in 2022. They talked about the time when Oscar was angry with Theo for tearing up Mom's notes. Theo showed Oscar the picture of their mom in the red dress. Theo now wanted to go back to 1992 because he was worried that if he was late, grandmother would yell at him. Theo went to the roof to jump back into the portal, but when he threw the stone, it didn't disappear. This portal had closed in 2022. Theo was troubled about how the portal could be closed. Oscar explained to him that time travel isn't that straightforward. The way you came here doesn't necessarily mean the portal will take you back. Now Oscar thought that they would have to find a new portal to go back from 2022 to 1990. While gathering information about this, Oscar took Theo to his senior professor. He explained that in 2022, science and technology have advanced a lot, but there's no such thing as a time portal. After hearing what the professor said, both brothers left and returned home. Theo was quite amazed to see the modern world. Seeing Oscar's phone, he asked, "What is this?" Oscar explained that it's a phone, but unlike old phones, you don't have to dial numbers and it doesn't have any wires. Oscar calmed Theo down and said that they should focus on finding the portal right now. "Do you want to go back to 1990 or not?" Then Theo told Oscar that he found a handwritten list in their mother's papers when he was tearing up the research pages to make rockets. "In my attempt to bother you, I hid it in the dictionary. There might be something useful in it." They asked their grandmother about the dictionary and she said she had given it to David. The next day when they woke up, Oscar told Theo he was going to meet David and told Theo to stay quietly at home and not go anywhere. But Theo quietly left the house and arrived at a large mall. Theo was completely amazed seeing the gadgets in the mall. Especially while using a VR headset, he accidentally broke it. Then Oscar was called there, who had to compensate for all the damages. Oscar scolded Theo for not listening, and then both went to David's departmental store to find a dictionary. David said he kept the dictionary at home. That's when Elena arrived there. Theo was very surprised at how Elena became so beautiful as she grew up. Then Elena asked, "Who is this child? How does he know my name?" To this, Oscar lied and said, "He is my cousin's son." Oscar somehow changed the topic, and then Elena invited both of them to her house where her son and daughter were busy playing video games. Theo was very impressed by these video games and started playing with Elena's son, Jane. Oscar found the list in the dictionary and told Theo that it's time to go home now. But Theo was enjoying playing video games so much, so Elena said let him play for a while. "I'll drop him off at your house myself." But while they were playing, Elena's children began to make fun of Theo because he didn't know how to play today's video games. After that, Theo and Oscar got back to work. On the roof, Oscar explained that the list mentions the locations of different portals. Both tried to find the time portals by throwing things at the mentioned locations, but found nothing. Oscar felt he made a mistake in his calculations and started calculating again. During this time, Theo started asking him why he always stays alone and doesn't have any friends, and especially why hasn't he shared his feelings with Elena till now. Oscar, while calculating, replied that even though Elena is divorced, he doesn't think anything can happen between them. Without informing Oscar, Theo used Oscar's phone to message and invite David, Elena, and Elena's children for dinner at home. When these people arrived at the door, Oscar was shocked to see everyone. Theo explained that he called everyone, and Oscar understood his mischief. During this meeting, Oscar and Elena got closer, and the next day Elena took Theo shopping to buy him new clothes. In the trial room, Theo was doing funny football commentary as usual. This act reminded Elena, and she recognized that this is Oscar's younger brother Theo. She hugged Theo and asked why his age hasn't increased despite being missing for so many years. Theo explained that he jumped into a time portal, which helped him directly reach here from 1990 to 2022. Elena couldn't believe it, but there was living proof right in front of her. Elena asked Oscar for confirmation. Oscar threw a stone off the roof, and this time the stone bounced back up, indicating that the time portal was there. Oscar explained that there are 3 types of time portals. The first type of portal allows direct travel from one time to another. The second type of portal could transport you to an unpredictable place. The third type of portal is very dangerous because one cannot come out of it. Theo used the first type of portal to reach 2022, and now they have to find the right portal to send Theo back to 1990. Now, these people started researching daily, and Oscar began to enjoy Elena coming there every day. He started dancing happily alone. Now both began to find the right portal together. Elena was not very happy about sending Theo back to 1990 because changing the past might change their future too. Her children might never be born. She loved her children very much. But Oscar promised her that Theo going back will not affect her life. He will make every effort to ensure that Elena's life is not tampered with. Now they began to ponder how to ensure both timelines remain as they are. Now Theo used his brain and sought the help of Elena's children to crack the coordinates written by his mother. Because if he goes to the past with their help, it will be certain that they will be born in the future. Because if they didn't exist, he would never be able to reach the past. Now the 3 used the map to find a middle path, which according to Theo is a time portal. With its help, he can go back to 1990. Excitedly, Theo jumped into the water in the middle, and Branda and Nathan had to jump with him reluctantly. Upon reaching the shore, they were all shocked because the city from where they came was now only mountains, indicating that the city hasn't been established yet. It meant they had indeed reached the past. But unfortunately, instead of 1990, they had arrived even further back in 1949. Now stuck in an unfamiliar place, the 3 were trying to understand what exactly happened to them. In fact, all three of them had used the second type of portal, which can send you to any random point in time. Meanwhile, in 2022, a worried Elena called Oscar to inform him that Theo and both children are missing. Oscar mentioned that they might have found the 1990 portal, and now Oscar and Elena will also have to go there to bring them back. In 1949, the three of them neither had money, nor was their phone working, and on top of that, the three children were also troubled by hunger. That's when Branda and Nathan that they could use their gadgets to perform a mind-reading magic show. Nathan sat a little distance away and Branda closed her eyes. Theo stood in front and wrote names on a board. Now, using wireless earphones, Nathan read the name to Branda and people thought it was magic. How is the girl telling the name without looking? She must have some special powers. The audience was very happy and everyone started clapping. This got them some money. But soon the police noticed all this. It was forbidden to perform such acts in public without permission. As soon as Theo saw the police coming, he signaled his companions to flee and all three of them immediately left. While running, an unknown man kidnapped the three and took them to an unknown place, putting the children's lives in even more danger. Meanwhile, in 2022, Theo and Elena got entry into the 1990 portal. They held hands and jumped into the portal. Elena truly felt like she was dreaming as she time traveled. In 1990, Theo's missing posters were everywhere. In 1949, the man kidnapped the children and brought them to a gang that was against the government. The gang leader asked why they brought the children here. So the man said that these children know the gang's secret code. Theo confusedly asked what secret code word. The man explained that the whistle Theo used to escape the police was the gang's code word. Theo's grandmother taught him this whistle. At that moment, a young woman from the gang arrived. This woman is Theo's grandmother. When she was young, Theo learned that his grandmother was once a member of this gang. That's where she learned to whistle, and Theo learned it from her. Theo didn't tell anyone that she was his grandmother because everyone would think he was crazy, but he hugged the woman. This gang is against the government, but works for the welfare of people, and they had no intention of harming the children. That's why the three of them are safe there for now. On the other hand, in 1990, Oscar and Elena were searching for the children at Oscar's house, but no one was there. Suddenly, they heard someone and both hid in the junk. It's young Oscar crying over Theo's disappearance. Oscar from the future felt very sad seeing this. In 1949, the three children started adapting to the lifestyle of that gang because they felt that they couldn't return through the portal they came from. Theo's young grandmother was with them, so it wasn't very difficult for Theo to adapt. Taking the opportunity, Theo asked his grandmother to take a photo with them and also told her to always keep it safe. Even when you get old, have it framed and keep it. This caused a sudden change in the grandmother's photo frame in 1990. Now in the photo, Theo, Branda and Nathan are also with the grandmother. In 1949, Theo also wrote the time portal coordinates on the back of the photo, so Oscar and Elena in 1990 could find it. Now Oscar and Elena realized they had to go back to 2022 so they could reach 1949 through the correct portal and rescue the three children. Once they reach 1949, everyone will go to 2022, and from there, they'll send Theo back to 1990. Oscar and Elena first went back to 2022 and used the coordinates given by Theo to reach 1949. There, Theo informed the members of his grandmother's gang that his brother Oscar would come to get him. So two people were already standing there. When they used the whistle taught by the grandmother, Oscar responded with the same whistle, after which Oscar and Elena were taken to the grandmother's gang. Elena was very happy to see her children in good condition, but Theo no longer wanted to go back. He now felt good staying in 1949. Oscar felt very bad hearing this. He told Theo, "Even though we fight, it doesn't mean we don't love each other." He doesn't want his little brother to leave him. Oscar said, "You can't imagine how much I've cried remembering you since you left." Just then, their young grandmother arrived there. Oscar was surprised to see her, but didn't say anything. Now they all need to find the time portal to return to 2022. So, a man from the gang was going to drop them off in a car. This man is none other than Oscar and Theo's grandfather. Soon, they found the portal to return to 2022, and now Oscar prepared to send Theo back to 1990. They had already found that portal at the construction site. Theo did not want to go back because he has no one in 1990. He had no parents. He felt very lonely. He told Oscar that he wanted to stay with him now. "You remind me a little of Dad." Oscar lovingly hugged Theo and explained that the Oscar from 1990 is also very lonely. Theo is really needed there. "If you stay well, I promise that my younger version will also take good care of you." Even though he didn't want to, Theo went back to 1990, where Oscar was overjoyed upon his return, and his grandmother loved him very much too. When Theo was asked where he was, he told his grandmother a false story that he was kidnapped by a gang. Worried and confused by Theo's departure, Oscar also began to believe that perhaps their mother really had left them. And out of frustration, he began throwing away his mother's books. But then Theo came and told Oscar the whole story of his time travel. He also showed Oscar a phone from 2022. Oscar didn't fully believe his story, but after seeing the phone, he couldn't dismiss it either. Both brothers decided never to use the time portal again and promised to be happy in the present time. Now in 2022, both brothers are together, and as soon as the doorbell rang, Theo teased Oscar, saying it must be your girlfriend, Elena. Theo told Oscar that now is the time to speak your heart. She's also gotten a divorce. Theo deliberately didn't tell Oscar all this before, because if he had, Elena's children would never have been born and Elena's life would have completely changed, which he had promised not to change. But now was the perfect time. The children had already been born. The divorce had also happened. As soon as Oscar opened the door, Elena was standing outside, and from here their lives could take a new turn. Now in the end, a scene from a very old time is shown. A portal opened and a woman emerged from it. This is a very old time and people don't know anything about science. This woman is none other than Theo and Oscar's mother. It is shown that she is a scientist, so she began teaching people about science, which could bring about significant changes in the future. This is where the story ends. So, according to you, should Theo have persuaded his brother earlier to talk to the girl? Maybe he would never have gotten a divorce and they would have lived happily. Be sure to tell us in the comments. See you in the next video.